This episode is brought to you by PayPal Honey. Honey is America's #1 online shopping tool, and I like to think of it as my online savings sidekick.
Because it's finding me promo codes for things I'm already buying and websites I'm already using. It's amazing.
Honey can find you discounts on 40,000 and more popular stores, which if you stop to think about it, that is a lot of coupons.
Plus, Honey has 100,000 5-star reviews on Google. It's a name you can trust, and it's a lot easier than you think.
Speaking of savings, I just saved 18% off my latest book, which as a bibliophile, I tend to get pretty excited when I buy my next read. But knowing I saved on it too gave me a little bit of an extra rush. Whenever I see that Honey tab in my browser, I know savings are just a click away. If you want to add Honey to your browser for free, you can go to joinhoney.com/wizards and start enjoying some sweet, sweet savings. For the folks at home, we have the lovely Hayley Kiyoko who played Stevie. What was it, 4 episodes? You were not. I for some reason I thought you were in so much more than 4.
So what was it like? The beginning of you being on there? Was it an offer? Did you audition? And correct me if I'm wrong, but you were in a.
I think I had just booked Velma for Scooby-Doo for Cartoon Network at the time, and for those who saw me as Stevie, I had my very specific haircut. So I had this very short, very Tegan and Sarah inspired pixie cut thing. And I had this like bleach blonde streak in the front. And it was so funny because like I was really focused on acting. I mean, I always wanted to do music, but like acting was like the opportunity that came to me first. And so I was really focused on that. And I remember that haircut was like almost like a pigeonhole where I'd go on auditions and people would be like, we just can't see outside of this look and this like very edgy haircut. And I was just like, gosh, I'm just never going to book anything being myself, looking like myself. And Wizards of Waverly Place was one of the first opportunities I had to be booked for what I looked like and what my hairstyle, like they didn't change my haircut. I remember having short hair being like, do women have short hair on Disney Channel at this time? Like it was a very like new thing.
They try to put you in these boxes that we don't fit in. And one of my favorite things about you is you're one of those people that there's not another one. You know what I mean? Like I don't know anyone else that is so you. And that's one of the most beautiful things about you. And it's so frustrating to me that you were ever put in a position where what was so unique about you that they wanted to water down or change. So I'm at least glad that, you know, Wizards was a place where you were able to be so perfectly yourself. And I liked the fact that we had a character like Stevie who didn't look like a character that we'd seen before because we needed that.
100%. And you're saying that you were nervous is interesting because obviously we're rewatching. So in anticipation of you coming here, I was rewatching and you seemed so cool.
Oh, you were so fucking
chill.
cool.
And it
I
really
was like,
worked.
who is this girl? She's so like self-realized. She knows who she is. She's so fucking cool. I felt like such a nerd. By the way, I was telling Peter this. I was like, I don't remember having this conversation with Peter, but I remember feeling like really insecure when Stevie came on because I was like, Harper's being replaced, and like there's not this like really cool girl that's gonna like be the friend now, and Harper's like being edged out, and like I guess I had conversations with him where I like felt like kind of mirroring the show because I know like Harper like had moments where she was like, who's this Stevie person?
Right. There was
but I guess in real life, Peter was saying like you kind of felt that a little bit.
But yeah, no, I was like super nervous just because the show was very established. You all get so many guest stars all the time. And I think also at the time, I wasn't sure how many episodes. It's very like nerve-wracking because when you get like a guest star, it's like potential reoccurring, or they give, you know, they hang these little dangles in front of you of like, you might be brought back.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I was very grateful for Jen because Jen was like one of the first people, and both of you, but Jen specifically, I remember just making me feel so at ease. And it's hilarious to think that in the back of your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, is this cool girl going to replace me? But I was like, Jen is so warm and just like really made me feel welcome. And, you know, it's my first time. It was my first experience doing a TV show. Like it was a lot of firsts for me. And as well, like you said earlier, when we were talking about my hair, like I felt like most of my acting career was always trying to water down what I looked like, what I naturally wanted to wear. And so it was cool to book a role that just kind of highlighted that or supported what I looked like. And it worked for the role that they were looking for Stevie.
When you were in a hard position, because it is hard to come in kind of, it's kind of this is a weird reference, but I'm full of them, of this like guess who's coming to dinner kind of feeling of this outsider coming into this place. It's a hard position to be in. So I can only imagine, and I had been in that position before. And so I think that's why too, it's like I knew what it felt like to come in of this like established thing where it's kind of this well-oiled machine at that point, and to be the outsider coming into that sucks sometimes, especially when like the main cast like doesn't make space for you. That's a shitty feeling. So I'm glad at least that hopefully everybody made you feel that way, but I'm at least glad I
I'm glad to hear that too. And you know, I did a show called Saved by the Bell, the college years.
We know that show.
Mention Third Rock. This man mentions Third Rock
on every Third Rock in the Sun as well. But when I got there, I was super nervous. And Mario Lopez was like, hey, the bathroom's over there. This is craft service.
Yeah.
And if you want to come to lunch with us, you can. And I was like, holy shit, they're being nice to me. This is great. It felt
it's like high school all over again. It goes a long way. It's like being invited to the lunch table. People remember that forever.
Right. And it can go full circle, because then when you have a show, or when you're, you know, at the stage you're at in your career, you can then kind of guide other people into the niceness that is, you know, being someone who's the person in demand can be very nice to the other people, or can be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you're on the other side, it's really nice to be there, you know, where people are helping you and guiding you through it. Had you not ever done a sitcom or a TV show for that matter at that point?
I don't think I had. I think that was the very first TV show. I had done one movie before, which was the Scooby-Doo movie. I was 19 at the time. And I remember specifically, I turned 19. I was like, I'm never going to play high school ever again. I was like, I have aged out.
Famous last words.
And as soon as I said that, obviously I booked Wizards. And yeah, it was my very first TV show. And also, like, I don't know, it was like you guys shot 5 days, right? You rehearsed like Monday and Tuesday, or you did like read-throughs on Monday and Tuesday, and then had a rehearsal, and then it was like 2 or 3 days of shooting. And like that, that was all new for me as well. Like I didn't know like what the process was. I was like, this is all so fast. And like I said, like, and you guys all know, like you all were such a family. And so I think that I was just very grateful for both of you for your kindness and just making me feel very like welcome. And it's crazy because my character people loved, and I really was only on 4 episodes. I was there for 4 weeks, and that was it.
But you made an impact.
A massive impact.
You made an impact because also too, like I keep bringing up Peter, but he was such an integral part of you coming on the show, and it was lovely because he talked about how and please talk about it as much or as little as you want to touch on this, because I don't mean to get too personal, but he talked about how like if it were a different time, you know, he wrote undertones into the show of kind of the Alex relationship and, you know, would have loved to explore the fact that like Alex was experimenting and Alex was, you know, that kind of relationship. But obviously where Disney wasn't ready to explore like an openly gay relationship, unfortunately, at that time. They've later gone on to do so. But where were you at? Like, were you aware of those undertones? Were you playing to them? Where were you at with your sexuality? You know, I don't know if you were out at that time. Like I said, talk about as much as you're comfortable with.
No, I'm happy to speak about it.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I'm happy to speak about it.
I was just going to say, when Peter told us about that, he was saying that was one of the big reasons. He said there was a rival to Alex, but he wanted there to be more of a connection between them. So I'm going to stop talking and let you.
Well, that's fascinating to me because I haven't spoken to Peter in a very long time, but all of this is new information to me. So I think I was just like naturally very gay, and maybe Peter picked up on that, and that was like the deciding factor of like, oh, she could be a really good Stevie. No, I think like I booked the role, and honestly, I had no notion or thoughts that there was some kind of like undertone or underlying like, you know, storyline that was going on. When I rewatched the episodes, I see that. But when I was shooting the episode,
I saw your TikTok, by the way, and was laughing so hard. Where you're like, Stevie, you gay. I was laughing.
Yeah, like when I was there, I was like, oh, I've just been brought on to like intimidate Harper and blah blah blah, and then I get frozen. And then when I rewatch the episodes, I definitely feel that energy because I also like exuded that energy at the time. You know, I don't know, that was just always like a part of me, and I don't know, I don't know, the lesbian energy was really thriving at that moment. But I was in the closet to the public at that time. So like 19, I was probably out to people in my circle and my life. But 2015, when I released Girls Like Girls, that was like my coming out, which was years later. So it was definitely, it's funny to look back, and it's really so much fun to hear the fans' reactions to Stalex and the comments of just everyone just being like, this is so gay. And I was just a baby Hayley in the closet at that time, trying to hide it. And to be honest, I was scared because, obviously Disney has progressed so much and the world is, continuing to improve and move forward. But like at that time, I was like, oh, I don't want anyone to know that I'm gay because then I might not get the role or they might not bring me back, or they might, think it's threatening to the youth, which is LOL, because I knew I was a lesbian since I was 5. But so that there was a lot of layers to that, I think, as an actor. And when I found music and was able to start exploring that more, I was able to feel freer in my sexuality and getting to share that with people.
Yeah. And Girls Like Girls is the title, right? I just want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah, that was the music video I released in 2015.
Yeah, it was such a fun song and such a what a beautiful way to come, and such a celebratory way to come out, publicly to people. You're such you're a triple threat, dude. Like you can dance, you can act, you can sing. So was it the acting love that came first? You said just because that was the most available, or what love came first?
Hit first.
Yeah, what was the passion that came first?
The passion that came first was music. I started writing music as a form of therapy, navigating being in the closet, knowing I had feelings for women at such a young age. That was my outlet and my comfort, to be able to just sing to myself and write poetry and just express myself when I couldn't actually share that with friends or family. And so music was really the number one goal for me. And then I think I just loved performing. I mean, all of you, we just love to create as artists and finding different mediums and platforms to express ourselves. And acting became an outlet for that for me. In middle school, I started doing commercials, and my dream was to be like the Shadow in an iPod commercial, just dancing and just cool, that was literally the dream. The eye shuffle, I just wanted to be in the shadow dancing.
Yeah.
That was my dream.
You just took me right there.
My dream was to be in a back to school commercial, dancing in the aisles. And so I just really wanted to express myself and perform. And so luckily acting, because acting is so hard. Every artistic endeavor is very challenging, but for some reason I found myself getting more opportunities in the acting space, specifically acting and doing music. I did the Lemonade Mouth movie for Disney, and I was playing a musician. And so I found ways to chase my dreams through the acting avenue. I love playing roles. I love characters, and I love challenges. So I think I'll always love acting, but music was always I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to just sing and dance and perform and express myself in that way. And acting was a really fun outlet for me. And it's something that I wasn't really expecting to become a big part of my journey.
Yeah.
It's interesting. My brother worked with Johnny Depp on 21 Jump Street.
He name drops is what he's doing.
But Johnny didn't want to do acting. He went to the
he wanted to be a musician.
Nightmare on Elm Street audition with a friend of his, and they were like, "Do you want to audition?" And then he just wanted to do music,
Yeah.
I mean, he's good at acting. Obviously.
You touch on like an excellent point of the fact that like, and I think we were talking about some of our mutual friends, and I'm every creative person, like there isn't really a limit. I think there's some sort of like avenues that we naturally kind of gravitate towards or we find more opportunities in. But I think when you're a creative person, you're just creative. You just have this like, you're just compelled to make things. You just have to make things. It's like, and I always butcher this John Lennon quote, and I'm going to be very like pretentious about it and butchering it. But like this thing of like, give me a tuba and I'll make you something out of it. And why he's Italian, I don't know.
Wait, can you say it again?
He's Italian?
Did you hear that? What is it? Give me a tube and I'll make something out of it. What did you say?
It's like in The Departed. It's like this John Lennon quote where Jack Nicholson says it, which is why I'm doing that like mobster accent.
Okay.
There's a lot of layers to this quote. It's a John Lennon quote. There's a lot of layers to this quote, and I'm going to regret making this reference.
But say it again, because I missed it.
But it's John Lennon. He says like, give me a tuba and I'll make you something out of it.
Okay,
it's something to that effect.
Yeah.
God, please look.
But I love how you did it like this.
I'm fucking it up. Like, Lord, God, I'm just gonna crawl in a hole.
No, I speak to the tuba line because I feel like that's been my whole journey's been one big tuba. Okay, Jen? It's been one massive tuba, and I've tried to, because it's true. It's like, I wanted to do music, and I didn't have that outlet, and I didn't have TikTok at the time, and it was like, how do you reach people? We didn't have the internet the way we have it at that time. And so then I found acting, and acting was an outlet, and, I'm sure we'll go into it, but then I found directing and all these different mediums where when I hit a wall, I turned left. And then when I hit a wall, I turned right, because I just, as a human being, I have to express myself.
And, that's very inspiring to everybody. Even, I'm grown up, I'm old, but it's inspiring because I loved how you said that. You hit a wall and you went the other way. You went that way. You kept going, So a lot of times people hit a wall and they just give up, and it's really nice for, I was going to say the young peoples, but it's really nice for the youths that you're such a nice example of that. So it's really important for people like, I'm going to say us, to keep doing our creativity, because then that's what helps other people sometimes. Like my dad made so many people happy and feel good.
Yeah.
And you are making people feel good, and that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. We were just talking about earlier about how like creativity breeds hope. You know what I mean? And how like in this, like it can feel difficult to find meaning in telling stories, whether it be through music or through filmmaking. And I think, and I've come with that when I'm, balancing like between nursing and acting. I'm like, what's the point sometimes of acting, of like, why does it mean something? And for me, it's like, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm like, being creative is about creating hope and about creating connection and about creating levity.
Yeah. I love
like,
that.
That's kind of the thing that I've come to terms with about it. But switching gears from that, so did you have a question?
No, I just was going to say, like, if anybody comes up to you and is like, hey, what was it like being on Wizards, or what was your memory or something? Is there a specific story that you go to with when you talk about Wizards?
Well, I was very excited to be given a wand. I think I'm I love items. I love tangible items, and I love like little trophies and like things you can hold. And I remember when I received a wand on I think it was the last episode, I was like, wow, I've made it. I got a wand. I was like, this is so cool. So that was like a high, I would definitely think that was a highlight. But also both of you and so many others, like on the cast and crew, like I had such a wonderful time with you all, and also getting to experience that first time being on a TV show. Like, you only get one first, and my first was with you all. So it was a really cool thing.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Honestly, like most of my interactions are just everyone telling me how gay I am, honestly, and Stevie on TikTok and comments like that. But a lot of people say that Stevie was their gay awakening. That's like, I would say that's probably the top comment that I receive from the show. So
that's
if Peter was going for that,
what a nice
he got
thing.
it. Yeah, he got it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, that's quite a compliment to you to awaken that in somebody.
Thank you so much. I love to awaken. Any kind of awakening, I'm happy. I'm happy to be an awakener.
I love it. And I have to say, I identify with the wand situation because in the show, I never had a wand, but in the movie,
tell me about it.
Oh, stop it. So I had I had a wand. I had magic. So it was fun to be in that zone.
Okay, I think that they did Stevie a little dirty with how she got turned into a statue and then like tipped over and like knocked into a million pieces.
Yeah.
There was like something that like they were like, oh no, she got put back together and she's off. Like, I don't know about that, but I think they did her a little dirty with how she like ended. How would you have liked to have seen Stevie?
I think at the time, because like they had like a piece of me, like it broke into a million pieces, and there was like a piece, and so part of me like at that time was really hoping that maybe that piece could bring me back at some point.
Yeah.
But honestly,
I really thought you were going to do a spin-off. I thought there was going to be a spin-off with your character.
Stop it.
That would have been cool.
Stop. But that's
that been
I thought that was going to happen. Yeah. I mean, I really thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I honestly loved having the getting spray painted. I had to get my whole body like sprayed silver, and like that was like really cool. Like you don't get to do that very often and shatter into a million pieces. So I was grateful how I went out. It's like leave them wanting more. We'll always want more. It's a good thing.
Fair enough. Leave them with pieces of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Pieces of me.
Now you're going on tour. Where's the start? Where do you start?
I start in Glasgow. That's my first date, April 5th.
Hell yeah.
And so I do Europe all of April, and then Europe and UK in April, and then I do the US in May. But I'm very excited. It's been almost 5 years since my last headlining tour, which I don't know how that happens because I feel like I wake up every morning just overworking myself and like going. But it's been 5 years since I've done a full headlining tour, and I had released my sophomore album Panorama last year. And so I'm just really excited to be back on the stage. I remember during the pandemic, I was just like, I would love to have the opportunity to just be on stage and to perform for people again in person. And so to be able to have that opportunity again and to get to go with my band and my crew that are family to me is really exciting, and to reconnect with fans. And so many people, like when I did my headlining tour in 2018, they called it 2018. And at that time, obviously that was about 4 years ago. And so I have all these fans like 4 years later, like they've either graduated high school, they've graduated college. Like 4 years is like a nice chunk of time. And so everyone's calling it the gayduation. So I'm very excited to get to see
that's
again.
great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Gayduation of whatever you were going through at that time since I've seen you last. Yes.
But what is your favorite thing about tour, and what is the place you're most excited to go to?
Well, my favorite thing about tour is the meet and greet. So really having that one-on-one, conversations with people and getting, because I think as artists, and especially because now we live on the internet, you just see comments and you're not really able to have that, in-person, face-to-face connection. And so to get to have that is beyond a gift. That's my favorite thing on tour. And then my favorite place to go to, it depends. I tend to rate cities by food. Food and
Good call.
The like loudness of audiences. So like I have some of the best shows in like Salt Lake City and Denver and Texas, and like there's certain cities that all artists know when you go on the road, they're going to show up and the show is going to be crazy, So I always look forward to those cities. And like I said, I tend to judge places by food because I'm a massive foodie and I love food. I'm excited to go to Europe because I haven't been to Europe, since pre-pandemic, I think. And so it's going to be cool.
Do you get to enjoy the town? Do you get to, is it like you land there, you perform, then you're in the go into the next thing? Or do you get a moment at all in the cities that you're performing in?
The tier that I'm at in my life, I do not really get to be there. I would say I probably get to enjoy the city for about 2.5 hours. So my time to enjoy and explore the city is basically going for breakfast. So I'll wake up, I'm on a tour bus, I'll wake up in a new city and I'll get to like find a cute breakfast spot and walk around and maybe get like a matcha, and then I basically have to get back to the bus and get glam and get ready for the meet and greets and the show and stuff like that. And then the bus leaves at 2 a.m. every night. So you get back on the bus at midnight, and then the bus leaves at 2, and then you wake up in the new city. So, but those 2.5 hours are great.
I'm tired. I'm tired just hearing about it. Shit, girl.
So after you're working and doing all that, you do vacation though. You go and take time to yourself though, right?
I feel like what I know of you, you don't take breaks well, because I remember relating to you of the fact that we're both workaholics and don't know how to stop very well. Is that still true?
It is still true, but I am different in the sense of I actively seek out breaks. So I used to just crash and burn, and I've dealt with a lot of health issues that have really forced me to really find balance. And so I go hard. So I'll work really hard, and then I'll take like a week off, and then I'll work really hard. And so I have to, because like, health is number one. And if you don't have your health, you can't show up the way you want to in those demanding schedules and environments. So
I've had that same kind of thing in my life where I worked until I crashed and burned. And it wasn't until I had health issues where it was like I didn't have a choice, and it was kind of a wake up call of like, you have to stop. Like you have to balance better, because it's not sustainable, And so but it's also too like, I don't know how you, because I think it's kind of when I'm not going to say lose certain health things, but when you have health challenges come into your life, I think there is a grieving process of the body that you previously had and your new body with that. And for me, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm like, okay, this is a blessing. I'm choosing to look at it like that, because it's forced me to slow down and appreciate when it does work, and appreciate, that I'm not a machine. I have to stop.
yeah.
And it just put things in perspective, and I'm thankful for it for that. Even though, believe me, it'd be nice to take a break sometimes from having some of like the health bullshit. But if it had to come to that, so be it. You know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, I've learned so much, and that's what's so exciting about this new headlining tour is, I am a completely different person. When I was doing that tour in 2018, I had post-concussion syndrome. I was dealing with so many health issues. I couldn't show up for myself. I was really struggling, and now I feel like I know what food I can eat. I know how to take care of my gut. I know how to take care of my mental health. I know what are the resources I need to be able to show up for myself and for other people. And so getting the opportunity to exercise those tools in a way that really beat me down last round is exciting, is really exciting to apply that knowledge. Because when you're able to show up and work hard and get to enjoy it, that is the key. And at the time I had so many health issues, I couldn't enjoy anything because I just was trying to get to the next day. And so to have those moments of, wow, my body's showing up for myself, my shoulders working, my gut, all these things, like that is like a win to be able to do that, and to even be able to creatively express yourself. Like how cool. And sometimes they don't work together harmoniously. Sometimes it's one or the other, and that's how life works.
Yeah, it's so important to take care of yourself. When the plane is going down, you put the oxygen mask on you, then you take care of someone else. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't be there for others. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't bring all these people joy in your life.
But also spot on the. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, that's why I said, do you take a vacation for yourself? Because my whole life, my kids are older now, but my whole life I've been just working to work and provide and work. And now I'm like, I want to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
And, for a little while, my wife and I, pre-pandemic, were traveling everywhere, all around
You
Europe.
guys were Carmen
to the
Sandiego.
point where a lot of my friends were like, so nice to go to Italy. And I'm like, isn't that why we're doing this? So that we can enjoy ourselves, so that we can have a good time. So it took me a little while, but I did learn that you have to take care of yourself so that you can be there for others.
You hit it spot on of like, that's where you can actually enjoy these things. That's where you can find the joy in what you love. Because when you're beating the shit out of yourself and when you're just like, running on fumes, you can't enjoy anything. Like you can be in the middle of doing the thing that you love the most and you can't enjoy it because you're just trying to survive. So I'm gonna say I'm so fucking excited for you that you get to actually like have this skill set and these tools to actually get to really thrive in an environment that you're born for.
Hey, it feels so good when good things happen to good people. That's the best.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm never going to answer this question, but sometimes assholes get a lot of good things that happen in their
They
life.
do.
And it's not,
Sometimes assholes win
really,
too. It's tough. It's tough.
That's true.
But I think whether it bounces in this life or the next one, I think it bounces out. I have to believe that, otherwise I'll go crazy.
Okay. Well, yes, I believe that.
They come back as somebody's asshole in the next one.
Okay. Hey, so we do a little thing here where we use our magic to our crystal ball.
You have your wand.
Just bear with us.
Okay.
Bear with us.
And we're gonna ask a question. I'm gonna let Jen read the question.
Was that like
With
a bird
beautiful-
sound? What was that? It was like a bird tweet with the wand.
It's the ball.
What sound
It's
is
the
that?
wand. This was.
Tell me about the sound design
Selena's
here.
wand from the show.
Oh, it is.
Okay, you ready? You ready? Here we go.
Wow.
There's multiple bird sounds.
Settings.
It's like this.
Jen hates it.
I hate it so much. This was Disney's. This was some of our few like Wizards merch that we had, and it's this plastic version of Selena's wand, and it makes all of these like.
Yeah, and you know what
sounds.
I realized, and I'm just going to say this because I realized that our television show really ultimately was a commercial to sell all the merchandise.
The wands.
Welcome to television in general. Is that what you
Okay, but I didn't really put it
Especially
together.
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, question coming at you.
All right,
Okay,
coming back.
crystal
Coming
ball.
full circle. If I can. Okay, I'm going to ask this one, but these are from the fans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on here. Great.
Yes, so these are from the fans.
Okay.
Yeah, so these did not come from us. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, no.
If you went to
You're making me
Hogwarts,
nervous.
what house would you be in?
I actually have taken the professional test.
Oh, the hat thing?
I don't know. I did one
Okay,
of those
that's-
tests online, and then they tell you I'm a part of Ravenclaw.
Oh, okay. I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan.
Oh
I'm
my
a total
gosh,
big
really?
Harry Potter fan.
Shocking. I love Harry Potter.
It's the magic. It's the world of Harry
We
Potter.
love
There's so many
magic.
I things.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
That's
know.
okay, but
I know I'm on the show that was like Disney's spin-off of Harry Potter. And I'm like, I don't know.
But wait a minute. So where is this test? You took like a you put in.
I know this
Google-
test though. It's like an
you
official
Google,
on the Harry Potter website, right?
Who are you? And then you do answer what's your favorite color? What did you eat for breakfast? And then they're like Ravenclaw or Slytherin. It's very legit.
I love it. We're like, let's bring
legit.
Hayley on so she can tell us what.
Well, because you can go to what is it Universal Studios where you can go and you can actually make your own one. They do
I
like
love
a wand
I
thing.
think
with
this
you,
is
you know?
more accurate.
Yeah.
I think this is more accurate because I think they actually learn about you. That they just have some dude who's like at his job going, Hufflepuff.
Got it. So Jen grabbed
I grabbed a question.
Okay.
another question.
Oh, okay. This is the first option. Did you get to keep a prop from set? If so, what did you choose? Or what did you spend your first paycheck on?
I'm going to answer the second question because I did not get to keep anything because Disney keeps everything.
Disney.
You should have just taken it like we did.
I
stole
know,
some
but I
things.
wasn't,
Okay. But what did you?
Yeah, I couldn't be stealing
I
things
know,
on
I
week
know.
4,
That's fair. Like I said, we were kind of in a different position.
Y'all were like,
if you wanted that piece of you to come back,
but son of a bitch, you could have held on to that wand. Like, where the fuck is that wand? It would have meant a lot to you. It's sitting in some dust.
I was hoping you were going to tell me that you held on to the wand. I was really hoping that you said you'd like.
I think I'm like a goody two shoe in real life, and so like I think I probably asked, and then they probably said no, and then I was like, oh, okay, and then most people were out of it like, well, I'm gonna take it anyways. I'm just a rule follower, unfortunately.
Well, good for you for being a good, honest person. I appreciate that.
It wasn't my very first paycheck, but I would say it was maybe like my second paycheck, and I have a very vivid memory. So I had auditioned for a Kmart commercial, and it was a back to school. I had to play bass. I didn't know how to play bass. I had my parents buy me a bass at Guitar Center. They had a 30-day return policy, and then we returned it after the audition.
Nice.
And the bet is if I booked the commercial that I got to keep the bass. And it was like $100 or something. But I booked the commercial. Yeah. And we played "We're the Kids in America." Oh, wow. And I got to keep the bass. Yes. And the bass is somewhere in my home, hanging back here. It's a red Ibanez left-handed bass. And that was like one of my very first purchases that I got to buy for myself with my own money.
That is so cool.
I love that. So not only did you get to be in a back-to-school commercial,
which you really wanted to.
My career ended years ago, you guys. I already hit the top. That was it.
You're like, I hit all the markers.
We need new markers. Yeah. I have to say, I'm answering that question too. I bought. I said if I ever had enough money that it was coming out of my nose, which doesn't really happen with Disney, but there was enough dribbling out that I bought a Pac-Man Galaga machine.
You still have it?
I still have it, and I play it all the time. I love it. It gives me such pleasure.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So what did you get? Did you get something?
You guys have such good stories. Mine's so like lame and like capitalistic, materialistic.
What'd you get?
You got a condo. That was good.
But that was a smart
very smart investment. Yes.
No, I used to be really into like. I'm so lame. I used to be really into purses, and so I bought myself like a Chanel purse that
That's great.
These are such great
not lame.
stories.
That
mine's like I bought a bag.
Nice.
But here's the thing. I go through my house now and I say, have I used this in 2 years, and does it bring me pleasure? Like, this is a cup that my wife gave me, and there's a whole elephant theme in our relationship. But if it doesn't give me pleasure, then I get rid of it. But that gives you pleasure, so that's good.
Thing, at the time, it did. Now to me, like, I don't know what clicked in my brain. I guess I just got older or something. Because like purses, I used to really love. Now I'm just like, it's a bag. It holds my shit. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean as much to me anymore. That bag in particular is special because of what it's associated with.
Of course.
But in general, I'm like, purses aren't as special as like an instrument or like, a video game machine that was like a milestone.
Well, don't beat yourself up. I feel like you gave yourself a very materialistic, awesome gift, and you deserved it. So it's something you wanted, and you have it, and it's like, that's pretty epic.
Well, I appreciate that. I only flog myself a little these days. I've gotten better at it.
That's so funny. Now, you said you're still wanting to do acting as well, yeah?
No, yeah, of course. I think for me with music about like 4 or 5 years ago, I had to just like really commit and just like go all in. And so it was just all or nothing. So I just fully committed to the music. And now I'm definitely open to finding the next role. I would love to play a lesbian. I haven't played a lesbian yet, so that would be fun. So yeah, I'm just looking for the right opportunity and something that excites me and challenges me. I think like with my music career.
Well, that's going to happen for sure. I can tell you right now that's going to happen.
Thank you.
For sure.
Should, but it should. It's like there's so many, like, you need to be back on screen as an actor, representing and telling stories and things like that. Like, I love what you're doing with music, and I love that you're telling stories that way, but I just want to see you back on screen as an actor as well. So it's going to happen. I'm putting it out there.
Yes, it's going to happen.
It will happen.
Magic.
Yes.
Look, but here, I want to ask this too. You said directing. I'm sorry that I don't know, but did you direct some music videos? What directing did you do, and what did you learn about yourself when you were directing?
When we spoke about Girls Like Girls in 2015. So that was the first video that I directed. I started directing out of necessity because they directors take like 20% of the budget. And if you only have $5,000 to shoot a video, that's like a lot of money. And so I started directing because I had to, and I couldn't afford to get directors for my videos. And so I have directed every video of my music videos since 2015. I've directed about 12 videos, and directing's been a really amazing relationship for me because I feel like that is what I've always done, and it is the ultimate storytelling, tool for me and way to express myself, because I'm able to write the music and I'm able to tell the story, and it's just like the highest tier for me to fully realize my full vision and what I imagine in my mind, and to be able to share that with people. And I think for me, again, at the beginning of my career directing, I realized by sharing my truth and my experiences and my stories, I was igniting hope, and I was finding communities, and I was able to bring people together through sharing things that were really scary for me at that time. And so that is something that I've continued to do throughout my musical journey and career is to direct music videos. And I'm now focused on directing TV and directing features. And I think it's pretty, and I also have a book of Girls Like Girls, which is coming out May 30th, which has been like the craziest journey of my life. When I did that music video and the song, the reaction to it was just like explosive. And I always wanted to expand that story and tell more of that story, because all of that came from a love and heartbreak that I experienced in high school. And so I've been working on that for 7 years, building out the world of Girls Like Girls. And so now I have a YA romance novel called Girls Like Girls that I wrote that is coming out May 30th, which is like so crazy to think
amazing.
that came from
dude.
a song, came from just this one song and this one moment in my life of sharing my queerness with the world.
Congratulations on being awesome.
Well, it's so indicative of just how you truly are an artist through and through, and we're the coolest and still are the coolest. And it's just an inherent part of your being. And I know, like, it just is. You can't get away from it. You're just cool as shit, Hayley.
I'm going to say something so cheesy. You are very magical.
Oh my God.
And you are very magical.
And you're very sweet and very cheesy. You're like a mozzarella stick.
That's what I
am. Well, Hayley, we love you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time amongst your busy schedule with perfumes and music and acting and directing and tours, and you're just a crazy woman. So hopefully a vacation after tour is going to happen.
We really appreciate it. And you be safe out there in the world, okay?
Thank you. You too. Thank you both so much for doing this. I'm sure everyone's just loving these episodes. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the Wizards fam and podcast. And it's so wonderful to reconnect with both of you. And I wish you both a wonderful week. And thank you, everyone listening today. This was so much fun. I love you all very much.
Bye, Hayley.
We heart you. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And if you want to watch clips from the pod, then go to Podco YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Oh, and if you want to join our Patreon, the link is in the description for that too. You get exclusive weekly bonus content. Exclusive. All right, see you next week.